In 2017, 5 women accused Louis C.K. of sexual misconduct.
5 women have come forward with disturbing accusations.
He issued an apology in the New York Times. Compared to others caught in the Me Too era, he seemed genuinely contrite for having hurt anyone.
In his routine.
But just 1 year later, audio from CK's new stand-up routine leaked. He raged against political correctness.
After this audio leaked where he's heard mocking survivors of mass shootings.
You're not interesting because you went to a high school where kids got shot. Why does that mean I have to listen to you?
He no longer appeared remorseful. From sorry to a resounding not sorry. When did the true sign of power shift from responsibility to impunity?
How do women still go out with guys when you consider the fact that there is no greater threat to women than men?
An apology is an admission of guilt or wrongdoing, taking responsibility for something that you have done wrong. If you look back in political life in America, you often see presidents, for example, taking responsibility for kind of national mistakes. John Kennedy apologized for the Bay of Pigs.
There's an old saying that victory has 100 fathers and defeat is an orphan. I'm the responsible officer of the government.
You saw the same thing relatively with Reagan and Iran-Contra.
I paid a price for my silence in terms of your trust and confidence.
Essentially, the buck stops here.
But lately, we've experienced more of the sorry, not sorry approach.
Do you feel like you owe her an apology?
No, I do. I do not. I've never talked to her.
A far cry from...
It constituted a critical lapse in judgment and a personal failure on my part, for which I am solely and completely responsible.
Humility in particular is a commodity that is really in short supply at this moment.
There's the sense that apology is being conflated with debasement, that in order to truly apologize, we have to humiliate or degrade ourselves.
Never apologize, mister. It's a sign of weakness.
And that's not true. In fact, when we do apologize, it's been shown that we feel stronger and more courageous and more powerful.
I think a lot of people are not wanting to admit culpability. They're not wanting to admit guilt. We see that in Joe Biden. Joe Biden, the summer of 2019, was accused by several women, not of anything sexual, but of touching them in public in ways that made them feel uncomfortable.
But there's some women who want to hear directly, I am sorry. Are you sorry?
I'm sorry I didn't understand more. I'm not sorry for any of my intentions.
We heard a lot of, I'm sorry they're upset, but no admission of anything that might have been wrong or uncomfortable on his part.
Comic Shane Gillis out at SNL.
Celebrities also use this strategy, even when it costs them work.
Whatever you want.
Grab him by the pussy.
And it's taken to a new extreme with President Donald Trump.
I've never said I'm a perfect person, nor pretended to be someone that I'm not.
Donald Trump does not like apologizing. This is very much part of his political persona and identity.
Trump learned from the lawyer Roy Cohn, who taught him to hit back harder than he's been punched.
We are in this moment where politics is not just about compromise, and it's not just even about leadership, but it's also about taking your team to a win and to a victory. And I think Trump's refusal to apologize really does speak to that moment.
When the leader of the free world takes an anti-atonement stance, that attitude trickles down.
In politics, we look to our politicians not only for political leadership, but for leadership more broadly. These are people who, either consciously or not, model behavior for the rest of us. When you see politicians who will not apologize, who will not engage in that act of humility, it sends a message to the rest of us that we don't need to apologize either.
What larger repercussions could this have? Polls show we're losing confidence in our political institutions. And without apologies, we may also lose accountability. A process that is already complicated because we haven't found a good way to deal with a whole spectrum of bad behavior, from harassment to rape.
When famous people refuse to offer an apology, they're also preventing any future conversation about restitution, about atonement, about ways to make it up to the victims in whatever way the victims deserve. If we can't make that simple act of, I'm really sorry, you deserve better, then where are we as a society?
Louis C.K. had promised to listen and learn.
I think a lot of people would have been very happy to forgive him and to use his case as an example of how, as a culture, we can think about atonement.
In the end, he found it preferable to do the opposite.
My mom still sends me, like, articles about me. She's still like, you know, you're in the New York Times. Mom, that's not a good fucking article.
He mocked.
Like, I lost so much fucking money.
He resented.
In a day. In one day.
He indulged his anger. And his audiences cheered.
Well, thank you very much. Good night. Thank you.
I'm Megan Garber. Thanks so much for watching. And if you'd like more videos like this, please subscribe to our YouTube channel.